Bob Marley was born on February 6, 1945 in 9 Mile, a small village in Jamaica. His mother was Cedella Booker, a Jamaican teenager, and his father was Norval Marley, a white British plantation overseer. Norval was mostly absent from Bob's life, and his mixed heritage made him feel like an outsider from an early age. Growing up in poverty, Marley found comfort in music. He was drawn to the sounds of ska and early reggae, which were starting to shape Jamaican culture. It was a rhythm that spoke to people like him, those who had very little but still held on to hope. As a teenager, Bob moved to Trenchtown, one of Kingston's most notorious ghettos. The conditions were harsh, but this place shaped him. It was here that he met Bunny Wailer and Peter Tosh, two young musicians who would become his closest collaborators. Together, they started a group called the Wailers. The three of them experimented with sounds, mixing ska with slower, deeper rhythms and thoughtful lyrics. Their music wasn't just about entertainment, it had a message. Bob Marley's lyrics began to reflect the struggles of everyday people, their pain, and their dreams of freedom. He wrote about inequality, poverty, and spirituality, blending these themes with the uplifting sounds of reggae. In 1966, Bob married Rita Anderson, a strong-willed woman who would play a significant role in his life. Around the same time, Bob was introduced to Rastafari, a spiritual movement that deeply influenced his beliefs, his appearance, and his music. Bob began to grow his dreadlocks as a symbol of his faith, and his lyrics began to echo the teachings of Rastafari: peace, love, and resistance against oppression. While some dismissed him as another ghetto musician, others began to notice the power in his words and voice. The breakthrough came in the 1970s when reggae started spreading beyond Jamaica. Bob Marley and the Wailers signed with Island Records, and their album Catch a Fire introduced reggae to an international audience. With songs like Concrete Jungle and Stir It Up, Marley's music became the voice of the oppressed, not just in Jamaica, but around the world. The follow-up album, Burnin', included Get Up, Stand Up, and I Shot the Sheriff. The latter was later covered by Eric Clapton, making Bob Marley's message even more mainstream. But Marley was never interested in fame for fame's sake. He believed his music had a purpose. He saw the injustices happening around him, from political conflicts in Jamaica to racial inequality abroad, and he used his voice to address them. In 1976, Jamaica was torn apart by political violence. Bob Marley planned a free concert called Smile Jamaica to promote peace, but just days before the event, gunmen broke into his home and shot him, his wife Rita, and his manager. Miraculously, they survived. 2 days later, with wounds still healing, Bob Marley took the stage and performed. When asked why he didn't cancel, he simply said, "The people who are trying to make this world worse aren't taking a day off. Why should I?" This moment cemented Bob Marley as more than a musician. He became a symbol of resilience and hope. His next albums, Exodus and Kaya, brought him global recognition. Songs like One Love, Jamming, and Is This Love became anthems of unity. Marley's music was a unifier. It transcended race, class, and geography. Fans across the world, from Africa to Europe, embraced his message of peace and rebellion. But Marley's health was declining. In 1977, he discovered a malignant melanoma on his toe. His Rastafari beliefs led him to refuse amputation, and the cancer spread. Despite his illness, Marley kept working, releasing Survival and Uprising, albums that carried some of his most powerful messages. Redemption Song, released in 1980, was his farewell, a stripped-down acoustic piece urging listeners to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. By 1981, Bob Marley's condition worsened. He flew to Germany for treatment but was too weak to recover. On his way back to Jamaica, he stopped in Miami, where he passed away on May 11, 1981, at just 36 years old. His final words to his son Ziggy were, "Money can't buy life." Bob Marley's funeral was held in Jamaica, and thousands of people came to pay their respects. He was buried with his guitar, a Bible, and a soccer ball, symbols of his life and passions. Today, his music lives on, as does his message. From the slums of Trenchtown to global stages, Bob Marley gave the world reggae, but more importantly, he gave the world hope. He believed in the power of music to unite people, to inspire change, and to speak for those without a voice. His legacy isn't just in his records, it's in the millions of hearts that continue to beat to the rhythm of his songs.